Hello YouTube, and we are back with Jester. Basically, you know what? I've been asked a few times, like, "Hey dude, can you show me how to open this case and stuff?" Now, I'm not really going to go into too much depth with that because there are so many videos that are like open on the market on YouTube and everything on how to open an Xbox 360. So to be honest, if you can't find one, then wow, I'm really amazed that you can't find it because you're on YouTube looking at this video right now anyway. So basically what I've done is I've taken all the hard drive and everything off, and I've just come with, we've got like half the Xbox. So now the main thing is getting these screws off. As you can see, I've already fixed this Xbox, so obviously this isn't like a tutorial on how to fix the like three red rings of death. I wanted to show you that in another video, but I thought I'd just show you my work because it's beneficial and you guys can see firsthand that I've actually fixed this bad boy. So obviously on your Xbox, you're going to need the Torx 8. Again, you know, whatever version you have of this is completely down to you. You remove this screw, all these little screws here on the ends of the X's, okay? Um, you can remove them first, whatever, it's completely up to you. That's down to you how you prefer to fix it. Then you want to take all of these screws out as well. Basically, once you take all the screws out, you just got to be careful when you're, you know, tipping this Xbox and stuff because the top lid here, I'll just show you this side, will come off. So just be careful because you may drop the disk drive or something or damage something. Just be really careful when you're doing this. I'm actually gonna not make you sit there and watch me undo all these screws because that's incredibly boring. I'll be back in a second. Right, so hello again YouTube. I've taken all the screws out now. So you should have in total maybe like 6 of these long ones. That basically just holds the upper case on. And then we've got these small machine screws, I believe they're called. They basically just hold this actual motherboard inside of the Xbox. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn it over now. So you want your top piece here. I know it's a bit hard to see, sorry, my camera isn't exactly amazing. But hey ho, we just have to make do. So what we do is we just simply slide this off. There is a silver casing under here as well. That keeps the heat in, so you want to make sure you keep that in good condition. Right, so that's the case off. Just put that to one side because obviously you are going to need that again. Right, so what can we say? Right, so let's do a quick briefing of this. We've got the disk drive, we've got the heatsink here, we've also got a heatsink under here which I'll show you in a second. We've got the RROD which actually keeps the air flowing through it. So what we're going to do is if I spin this around, I'm just going to try and do this the best way I can for you guys because I know it's a bit awkward. We've got 2 wires in the back of this. What you want to do is just take these out. I'll just do this now. Once you've done that, you've pretty much got the disk drive out. You're not going to actually need that for this bit anyway. So that's out. Again, put this over with the case or something, you know, just to keep it for safe sake. Right, the other bit that I haven't showed you actually is here's the other heatsink here, which was underneath there. This one is actually the one that gets quite hot. And to be honest with you, 9 times out of 10, this is the problem. This one's kind of weird because this has got the old generation version of this heatsink and it's got this new generation. Usually you've got this one and on the other side you've got like it's the same sort of material, it's just like a big fat cube basically, and that's usually sitting there, but this is, I'm not quite sure what's quite going on with this one, but hey ho, who am I to care? Right, so then you want to take the RROD out. Now mine's quite easy to take out, but yours might be a bit fiddly, but don't worry about it, it's just plastic, it's crap, doesn't really matter. Right, and the other bit is you want to take this bit of plastic off the front here, and you got 3 screws, 1, 2, 3. We want to take those off, so use your Torx 8 screwdriver to get that off, otherwise you won't be able to get your motherboard out, so you are going to have to take this off. What I'll do is I'll just pause the video quickly, because again, you know what, I'm sure you don't want to see me unscrewing screws, that's pretty boring, you want to get straight to the point. So be back in a second guys. And you're back in the room. Yeah, so I've taken the screws out of here. This simply just, you just pull it off and it comes off quite simply. And we'll put that over there with the rest of the stuff, just so it's safe. Right, so the other bit is these fans at the back here. So you don't have to take the fans out. You can leave the fans in there. It's a lot easier, trust me, when you're putting everything back together. So there's like a little plug here. What you want to do is you want to just pull it up. It can be different on many Xboxes. There might be a 2-pin or a 4-pin. This one in this case is a 4-pin. So like I say, you can leave the fans in there. You don't really need to take the fans out. That's fine. Now the easiest way I find to get this out is there's this bit here. It's where your USB would go. So usually when you're charging your controllers, or maybe you have a memory unit in there, I don't know. You just simply pull that and it comes up. There we are. Right, see, so your fans will stay in there because they're pretty much kept in place by some clips. We're not actually going to need this right now, so what I'll do is I'll put this to the side as well. Right, so we have the motherboard. Now, what I'm going to do is going to turn it over. Now on your one, obviously because I already fixed this one, on your one you will have two X clamps, which I'll show you what they look like. Bear with me a second. Hey guys, sorry about that. That was one of the things I didn't pick up when I wanted to show you this video. So you should have two of these bad boys. Now, like I said, there's two ways you can fix this for free red rings issue, or e74 is one I've recently fixed with this issue too. You can actually either take the heat sinks off and repaste it and put these bad boys back on. Now, these go on easy sometimes, like back on, but sometimes you may be very careful when you do this. You have to use a hammer because 3 of the edges will go in, but the one will bend up a little. You will have to knock that back in with a hammer. It's not the easiest fix to do, I have to admit, but it's one fix that sometimes works, sometimes doesn't. It's just 50-50 all the time. Right, so when you get to the bottom of your motherboard here anyway, as I was saying, obviously I fixed this so you've got screws there, but your X clamp will look a bit like this, where it will be like that, and there'll be a couple of little legs like we were mentioned in the other video, which was these suckers right here. You'll have those there with a screw in. All you have to do is this is where my little screwdriver actually comes in handy, because it's a lot easier. So like I said, I had a flathead screwdriver, and all I did was there's a tiniest little gap in here, and you have to try and bend it upwards. Keep doing this until you get maybe 2 or 3 of the legs off, and then it'll just fall off pretty much. You can keep these again, because like I say, it's one way of fixing it, 50-50, that it might work, it might not. Once you've got those off, you will actually have 2 little chips under there. It's kind of hard to show you without actually taking this apart, because I don't see the point. There'll be 2 chips under the heat sinks. Well, there's actually 2 under one. So this one's only got 1, and it's bang in the middle of where this is basically. Once you take those X clamps off, these will just fall off. Literally fall off, so be careful. You literally clean it. An alcohol wipe is the best way to clean these chips. Easy, hands down. I mean, if you don't have that, it's a bit tough luck, but I mean, if you're really on a budget, you can always use baby wipes or something that will clean the chips basically. But just please make sure the chips are dry before you start putting everything back together again, because it's a bit retarded if you don't do that. Right, so where was we? We were just basically saying that it's good to clean the chips. You've got 2 under this one actually. You've got a little one and the same size as this one. Make sure you clean both of those. Once they're clean, and make sure they're dry, what you actually want to do, you can do this 2 ways. You can either put this paste on first. I usually put the paste on first anyway, which is Arctic MX4. I used to use Arctic Silver. It has very good results, but I've found this one a bit more productive and a bit better, so I'm using this one from now on. You can, like I say, the way I fixed this one had an e74 error. Before I put this paste on, I actually got a heat gun. You can use a hairdryer as well. A hairdryer is a very good one as long as it has a high power warm heat. You simply just go over these chips. I'll show you now. 1, 2, you got this one here, you got this one down here, and this one here. And then the chips that are under here, please feel free to use the heat gun on those. Don't go crazy with the heat gun. Don't go too close. You want it about a fist away. If you go too close, you end up completely muffing the motherboard, and that's it. And you will not have an Xbox 360. What I do is I do the back first. Now, obviously, because I fixed mine, but you might have these underneath. What you want to do is you want to take those off before you actually start using your heat gun or hair dryer. And then you literally, on the bottom, you want to do the whole board. So you literally want to get it and do it on maybe a low heat on the back here. And just literally do that for about a minute maybe on a low heat. Just make sure you get, because what it is, basically 3 red rings is where sometimes things can come a bit loose, solder starts getting a bit chipped, and that's how you start getting 3 red rings. Sometimes it could be other problems, obviously, I'm not doubting that whatsoever. So yeah, we want to make sure you haven't got these on, heat it up maybe for about a minute. The best thing to do actually is when I do it is I actually put it on top of this. So I'll lay it down like this and I'll put it on top because it's a sort of even surface, but it's not. And then what you want to do is you want to spin it over. Now this is the part where you want to be very, very careful. You want to heat up those chips that I mentioned earlier. So that was that one there. Then there's a couple of little ones here too, and the ones underneath here, obviously. You actually want to do this side a bit longer. Now, the important thing is that you do not go anywhere near, don't overheat these bad boys, because you do that and that is it. Bang, your Xbox is gone and they might explode and you could get seriously hurt. So please just avoid all of these sort of things here there. So yeah, once we've heated it up, you want to leave it to stand for about maybe 30 minutes, maybe at best. Sometimes best to leave it longer. I left this one like for a while because I went out somewhere, so I fixed it. Well, I didn't fix it, I heated the board up and everything, and then I went out, I came back, I put it back together. Right, so we'll get back to the point. Once everything's cooled down, you might want to clean it as well. Mine needs a bit of cleaning, but it still works. What you want to do then is you want to reapply the paste. So again, we go back to the Arctic. This is just a recommend for me. I mean, you can use any paste, but don't buy the cheap eBay stuff because it's crap and it lasts about 5 minutes and you'll have to reopen everything again. It's a waste of time. So yeah, reapply the paste. Now, this is the part where a lot of people get it wrong. And to be fair with you, you get this wrong and you're going to be opening the Xbox, closing it, open it. You're going to keep getting into a cycle because you haven't done it properly. Now, I've got these actually from eBay. Basically, it is a screw. Obviously, like we discussed before in a previous video, we are going to take these legs off. I've made my own sort of personal tool, as it were. It was an Allen key, but I've just shoved one of these on there to make it a little easier. Takes them off real easy. Once you've got all the legs off of these, there's 4. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's 8 altogether. Once you take those off, you'll be left with massive holes, basically. I'll try the best to show you I can. You see where that screw is coming through over here? Yeah, that was just a massive hole, basically. So you've applied the paste. You kind of don't want to put too much. You want to sort of put maybe, I'd say, it's quite hard to say without showing you, but a sort of thick layer maybe. Don't like get one of these and just go bosh and put loads on because it will just fuck it up and it won't work. Right, then what you want to do, this is quite the tricky part if I'm honest, because like you've got the best thing to do is lay it down, put the screws through first. So you want to lay it down like this, put the screws in, make sure the head is up like that. Okay, we're not putting any washers on, okay? We're just putting the screws in, literally like that, like no washers. And then you want to take electric tape. You can use other tape, but I mean, this is best, I think. And then you just literally do this one at a time, okay? Because otherwise you're just making more work for yourself. So what you want to do, I usually do the little one first, that is this side. So I will get the screws, put them in, and I will put this tape over each one. So I'll put a bit of tape here, a bit of tape here, a bit of tape here, a bit of tape here. Then what I'll do is I'll turn the motherboard over, and then that is when I will apply my washers, as seen here. But this is the important thing, the massive but. you put the nylon washer first. Nylon washer first, guys, okay? So we only need one of those. And then we will apply a metal one. Again, I just got these off of eBay, dirt cheap. Got a red ring def repair kit. And then you put this on top of the nylon washer. Again, you only need one of each. That is where everyone makes a mistake. You end up putting like maybe 3 or something and it doesn't work. I've tried it, it doesn't work. Right, so you've got those through, right? That's great, guys. Yeah, we've got them through. This is the difficult part of doing this kind of fix, is trying to keep everything together. Now, the reason why I say do the small one first, because when you try and do the big one first, it's just too awkward and it weighs it down quite a lot, because this is a lot heavier than this. Don't ask why. So what I tend to do is I tend to push down really hard on top of this one, and then I kind of keep a hand underneath as well so the screws don't come out, but because you've got the tape there anyway, it will hold the screws in. Then you sort of just try and flip it over very carefully. Now, obviously this part will depend on what sort of screws you have from wherever you brought them. I've just got a basic screwdriver that you can change the head. A little bit rusty, I know, sorry. And then this is the important part too. So you've got it like this, guys. And what you want to do is you want to just tighten them enough so they actually hold the heatsink in, so you don't have to sit there and pushing all the pressure on. Then when you tighten, make sure you do it at diagonals when you get to the actual tightening. So you'll do this one here, and then you'll go down to this one. Okay? And keep doing that until you get them tight. If you do it like this, you're going to over tighten somewhere, and it's just going to completely screw the whole thing up. Again, you're going to do the same for the other one. That's pretty self-explanatory. I've explained it to you. If you did have pads with these, please put them back on, because it just helps. It's really useful to do that. Like I said, guys, I am going to upload a video of me actually doing it to prove that it works, because it's not fair to just do it on an Xbox that I've already fixed. It's not very self-explanatory. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly chuck this back together, and then we'll turn it on, and just to prove to you that it works, basically. So I'll be right back, guys. Please hold. Okay, guys, so I'm back. The thing I wanted to show you was to actually put it back in. You're simply going to slide it at an angle, please, because it's so much easier to do it like that. And then you want to make sure that, guys, also that you put the fans back in. Make sure you put the fans back in, because otherwise you're going to get an overheated Xbox and it's all going to be honest, go tits up. So just make sure you got the fans back in. Mine clicked, so that's fine, they're in. Right, the other thing I'm going to recommend is don't put all the screws back in, because if it doesn't work, then you've got to then take all the screws back out. It's a waste of time. Bear with me a second. Alright, sorry about that, guys. I just had to actually stick my charger back in, which was a bit retarded. I'm sorry. I thought it had more battery than it did. So, where were we? We've got this all back in, okay? The fans are plugged in. We actually want to grab our on-off button, or RF board, as some better technicians know it. Then you see this little slot here. This is where it came from. You simply want to just pop that back in there. This can sometimes be a bit fiddly, guys, if I'm honest, because of the way the board is. So I've got mine back in. Sometimes it's easy to push down on here and push it back in. Sometimes that helps. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly chuck the disk drive. Oh, actually, we'll put the fan Schroed first, guys. Fan Schroed first. So here we are, fan Schroed. Again, this is can get a bit fiddly. We want to get this right back where we found it, okay? Because this is a big part of keeping our Xbox cool, even though it doesn't stay very cool, if I'm honest. So I've got that back in. That's okay. So we want to take our drive. This is our drive. Again, we want to plug those wires. You remember we took them out earlier from the back here? We just want to put them back in. They actually only go in one way, because the wires are completely different, so you can't get this bit wrong at all. It's pretty self-explanatory. That is actually going to rest on top of the disk drive as it did before. So when you've got it all back together, remember no screws, guys, because there's no point. It should look how it was when you opened it. What I'm going to do now for you all is I'm actually going to plug this in. and to show you that it actually works, because there's no point showing you the video if that's the case. So bear with me a second. Right, so we're back in the room. I'm all plugged in now, I'm ready to go. Now fingers crossed this will work. It was working earlier when I tried it, so here we go. You just simply press this little button here, that's your on off button. So we're powered up, you see the green light there. Xbox disc tray's going, and look at that, guys. That is the green light, that is your go. Sounds good, doesn't it? Considering when you maybe had red rings beforehand. Like, subscribe, enjoy my videos, because that's why I do it, guys. I don't do it off my own back for the fun of it. I do it because I want you guys to have good, healthy Xbox 360 consoles. And stop giving Microsoft money, man. They take enough money off you as it is anyway. So, like, subscribe, and hopefully your Xbox will get the green light. There will be another video coming of me actually physically fixing an Xbox right before your eyes, just to prove that my method works, okay? So take care, guys. Goodbye, everybody, and enjoy your day, evening, night.